They say history is carved in stone, but every now and then the stones start whispering back. From buried manuscripts to nights frozen in time, recent discoveries are rewriting everything we thought we knew about the Middle Ages. These aren't fairy tales. They're real finds, unearthed by accident or persistence, that challenge how we see faith, war, and power. So, grab your torch, because we're about to uncover 5 medieval discoveries that left historians speechless. 1. The Lost Library Beneath the Monastery, Czech Republic, 2022. It began with a renovation. Archaeologists restoring a 13th century monastery near Prague noticed hollow echoes beneath the chapel floor. When they broke through the ancient stone, they didn't find tombs. They found books, hundreds of them, perfectly preserved in a hidden chamber sealed for over 700 years. Among the dusty manuscripts were banned religious texts, early scientific treatises, and a mysterious journal written in a code no one has yet cracked. What shocked researchers wasn't just the age, it was the content. The books referenced astronomical observations that predated Galileo by centuries. Someone, hidden behind those monastery walls, was studying the stars, long before Europe was ready to believe the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. Was this secret library a center of forbidden knowledge, or evidence that medieval monks were far more advanced than history admits? 2. The Skeletons Beneath the Cathedral, England, 2021. In the quiet city of Lincoln, construction crews digging beneath the old cathedral hit something solid, a stone vault. Inside were hundreds of skeletons, arranged neatly, their hands folded in peace. But one stood out. A tall man with a sword still resting beside his ribs, and a silver pendant engraved with an image never seen before, a lion and a cross intertwined. DNA testing later confirmed something shocking. This man wasn't English at all. He came from North Africa, likely a Muslim warrior turned Christian knight, buried with honors in one of England's holiest sites. This single skeleton reshaped what we know about medieval Europe, proving that people from distant lands weren't just invaders or pilgrims, but sometimes brothers in arms. 3. The Frozen Nights of the Alps, Switzerland, 2020. When a glacier near the Swiss-Italian border began melting, hikers stumbled upon what looked like rusted armor poking through the ice. Authorities soon realized it wasn't debris. It was a battlefield, frozen for 700 years. The site revealed more than 24 soldiers, their armor, weapons, and even clothing almost intact. It was the remains of a forgotten 13th century skirmish, one never recorded in any chronicle. But here's where it gets eerie. Some of the soldiers wore insignia from rival kingdoms, meaning they weren't enemies. They were allies who died fighting something else, a possible avalanche or even betrayal in the mountains. The frozen nights gave scientists a time capsule of medieval warfare, arrows still in quivers, crossbows cocked, and even fragments of bread in their pouches, their final meal preserved in ice. 4. The Mysterious Grail of Valencia, Spain, 2014, confirmed 2020. The Holy Grail, the most sought-after relic in Christian history. For centuries, hundreds of cups claimed to be the chalice used at the Last Supper. But in 2020, historians studying a goblet housed in Valencia Cathedral uncovered new, jaw-dropping evidence. Carbon dating placed the cup's origin squarely in 1st century Jerusalem. Further analysis revealed ancient inscriptions matching early Christian Aramaic texts. Even the metal base, added later in the Middle Ages, matched workshop marks from the reign of King Ferdinand I of Aragon. While no one can say it's the Grail, the evidence suggests medieval Spain's kings genuinely believed they had it. For centuries, they passed it down as a symbol of divine right, the cup of Christ itself. So maybe the legend wasn't a myth after all, just a story waiting for science to catch up. 5. The Hidden Chamber of the Knights Templar, France, 2023. Our final discovery might be the most dramatic of them all. In 2023, a team restoring an abandoned chapel in southern France found a strange hollow behind a sealed altar wall. When they broke through, they uncovered a hidden chamber, untouched since the 1300s. Inside were dozens of Templar relics, carved crosses, swords wrapped in cloth, and a stone chest containing parchments bearing the Templar seal, among them, a map, but not of any known land. It depicted Europe, but different. Coastlines shifted, mountains in wrong places, almost like it was drawn from a time before the last ice age. Some believe it's evidence that the Templars preserved knowledge from older civilizations. Others dismiss it as symbolic artwork. But one thing is certain, the Templars' secrets are far from finished whispering. These discoveries aren't isolated curiosities. They're pieces of a much bigger puzzle, one that suggests the Middle Ages weren't a dark, ignorant time, but an era of forgotten brilliance and untold connections. Every unearthed scroll, every unearthed night pulls us closer to understanding just how complex the medieval world truly was. And perhaps, how much we've lost. Because buried under every field, frozen in every glacier, and sealed behind every monastery wall, there are stories waiting for the right moment to return to the light. So next time someone calls it the Dark Ages, remember this. Darkness doesn't mean ignorance. It just means we haven't dug deep enough yet.